Hi students. I just want to go over our assignment today, day 2, part 2, modifying our food web and energy pyramid. So you may work in groups for this. You can work in groups from 2 to 4, or you may work by yourself. So first you're going to make sure you type in who your group members are and let me know. Once you let me know who your group is, or if you're working solo, I will give you a specific location in the Pacific Northwest that you're going to be researching. Only one member of the group needs to turn in this assignment. However, I do need to see on the assignment who contributed what. So if, one member of the group did the location and researched it, make sure they put their name there. Whoever did the abiotic factors, they put their name there. Okay, I need to see who contributed what. And then you only need to turn one in, and if you ever need to reference it, that person can email to them or share it with them. But not everybody needs to do it. Okay, so first thing you're going to do is you're going to research your location. So after I give you your location, so this one in particular is the Kachamak Bay Reserve. I'm going to use this as an example. You're going to research where it is. So I would put that in there. I'd put a map. I'd Google image search it and find out where Kachamak Bay is. So a lot of these are zoomed in. I would find a good one that really shows it. It's actually Alaska. Let's see if I can find a good one. This would be an appropriate one. Right here, Kachamak Bay. It says it right there. Okay, so you could copy image, and paste it into your document. All right, so it'll look like that. So you have an idea of where your location is. Okay, part 2, you're going to complete the following abiotic factor chart for your location. So you're just going to Google research it: average water temperature, pH, carbon dioxide of the air and water, salinity, dissolved oxygen. Try to get as close to your location as possible. If you can't find actual information, just look up Alaska Bay or Pacific Ocean, Alaska, to try to get as close as possible to where your location actually is. Okay, part 3, you're going to complete some research on your assigned ecosystems in the Pacific Northwest. You're going to look back at those species cards that we did yesterday, or the other class, and you're going to try to figure out which animals actually live in your location. So you may have to look for what's called distribution maps. So a distribution map, so let's do otters as an example, because everybody, otters are the focus of our unit this time. So if I do otters and then distribution map and I pull it up, I basically get a picture of where in the world all the otters are. So if I look here, so here's Kachamak Bay, right where my little pointer is, I see that otters actually do occupy that space. So on my worksheet, I can type in otters, because I know that otters, are distributed there. So you have to do that for all of the species on those cards. So that would be a great part to mix up with another group member. Okay, maybe 4 animals each, right? Because there's probably about 10 or so different species that you have to research there. So that would be a good one to split up. So not all the animals are located on every location. Some of them are not. So make sure you're actually looking up the distribution maps. If you have trouble finding any of the animals, let me know while you're doing it, and I can help you figure out where they're distributed. Okay, part 4, we're going to make a food web. So starting with your original food chain, you can just pick one from your group. So there's 4 people in your group. Pick one from the last assignment that you did and use that as a starting point. You're going to be adding at least 1 more producer and 4 more consumers to construct a food web. This is from the animals that are on the species card. Okay, that shows how energy flows from producers through primary consumers, secondary consumers, tertiary consumers. If the species on the cards do not live in your area, you may replace them on your food web with species that do. So that means if you don't have enough animals, you may research other animals that do live in your part of the world, but try to stick with the species cards that are there. So you're going to use the following website to help you create a food web. So I found this website. You can control click to get to it, and it's an editable food web that you can do. Hopefully at least one group member's computer will be able to run it. You can just edit these documents. So like you can delete these if you want. You can move the arrows around. Whatever you want to do, you can edit this. If you go here to the G, you can Google search. For example, if I want to do otters, I can search there. And there's my picture of otters. And I should be able to drag the otter picture here and put that at the top, right? Again, maybe I don't need this arrow, so I can delete it. Yeah, I can go here. We definitely know otters eat sea urchins, right? So I'm going to Google search that. Get a good picture of a sea urchin. That's a good one. Drag it into my space. Right, go there. And then I would move this arrow to here. Right, you get the idea. So you can play around with it. This would be probably one of the more time-consuming aspects that you'd have to work on. Honestly, if you can figure out another way to make a food web, maybe you're good in Photoshop, maybe you're good in Microsoft Paint. However you want to make a food web, this is just one option. When you're done, you're going to take a screenshot. So you can either do a snipping tool, which most computers, if you're running Windows, should have a snipping tool. Right, you can take a screenshot of it there, or you can do a print screen, function print screen. Either way, you want to get a screenshot of your food web and get it, copy and paste it onto your document. You're going to do the same thing with the energy pyramid. So now you're going to take the food web you just created above and you're going to make an energy pyramid. Basically, you're going to modify the one from the other day, questions 3 and 4 from the other class where you made your original food pyramid, to reflect the additional organisms in your research area and new food web. So now you have to add all organisms to this pyramid. So you're going to use same thing. You're going to click and follow here. Same website, different template. So same thing here, okay? You can edit this same way. You can type in all the organisms. So if you have kelp and let's say phytoplankton, right, make sure you're adding in all of your animals. You don't need the energy on the side for this. Don't worry about the energy. I would leave this producer, primary consumer, secondary consumer, tertiary, just to remind you, right, where all these animals are located, right, on the pyramid. Same thing, you're going to use snipping tool, copy and paste, and go back to your document here. Okay, lastly, you just have 2 follow-up questions. So it says, if the producers at the bottom of the pyramid still collectively have 3,500,000 kilocalories of energy, how much energy would each primary consumer have available to them if there were 3 different species at that level? So what you're looking at is, you know, in the past, we kind of just did the 10% rule going up the pyramid, which you would still do, but now you have to understand that you're now sharing it, right? You don't have just one primary consumer at that level, but you might have 3 or 4, and everybody is now competing for that energy. So you have to do a little bit of math, right? Thinking of it, the producer level has 3,500,000. Going up, how much does the primary consumer level have? Remember our 10% rule, and now you have 3 organisms within there. So how much is going to be available to each of them on average? So number 7, generalize that. So I should see a little bit of math at number 6, and number 7, I want you to put that into words. Explain what happens to the available energy within each level when there are more organisms at that level. So try to explain what competition means between animals that occupy the same level on the trophic pyramid. Okay, if you guys have any questions, me, Mr. Colca, Mr. Rodriguez will be available to help you.